Ladies and gentlemen, Jarity Athletes, or if you're new to the channel, the video that we're going to be doing today is what jump rope gear is worth your money. I feel like in any other fitness discipline, there's a lot of videos that just talk about what you need to complete certain workouts, whether it's weightlifting or running. So I thought we'd do a version where I just talk about what gear I think is absolutely essential if you're going to be a jump roper. You know, talk you through some of the nice to have, some things you maybe don't need, but we're going to slice through all the BS today. So let's get right into it. First of all, I've talked extensively on this channel about my opinion of jump ropes. So in terms of what jump rope you absolutely have to have or is worth your money, I just want to remind you guys, any jump rope that you have is better than having no jump rope. So no matter what your, money situation is, where you're at, like if you're landlocked and you live on an island and you can't get any other jump ropes and you just have this one kind, that's totally fine. Now, having said that, if I could only have a couple different types of jump ropes, or if someone was like, you can only have two jump ropes, what are they going to be? I would have a heavy rope and a not so heavy rope. I wouldn't do a speed rope. I don't think speed ropes are essential, but I do think having a solid like vinyl jump rope or steel cable jump rope, like either the 1/4 pound from Crossrope or even the cheaper one that we reviewed at Walmart, is a nice vinyl cable jump rope that you could have. So I'd recommend that and a heavy rope. That way you're learning a lot of tricks and you can do, speed work and stuff with the lighter rope, and then you can do more muscle building, muscle stimulating types of jumping rope with the heavy rope. In terms of breaking down what those jump ropes are, if you prefer beaded, then go ahead and get beaded. If you prefer vinyl, go ahead and get vinyl. If you prefer the 5-pound Crossrope, then go ahead and get that. I'm just saying what I think is essential for having like a well-rounded jump rope repertoire or collection of ropes is having a somewhat light rope and a heavy rope. All right, jump rope mat. Yes, I actually do view mats as an essential piece of gear that you should have when jumping rope, and it's for the most basic reason. If you don't use a mat and you're jumping outside, typically that's going to be on concrete, that's going to be on macadam, some type of uneven surface, you are going to rip through your ropes a lot faster, and you are going to have to spend more money to replace those ropes, and it's going to be a big headache. Versus if you get a rubber mat, even if it's not the Crossrope one, which we're always pushing, there's a lot of other jump rope mats out there on the internet. I would recommend getting one because it's going to save you a ton of money and headache. You're not going to be ripping through your ropes as much, so they're just going to last longer, higher quality. I have ropes that I've had literally for 7 years that still are not ripped the whole way through just because I mostly jump rope on a mat. Another thing good about having a mat is if you're jumping all the time on concrete, that can be harder on your joints, and the mat is kind of squishy, so it just helps to protect from injury as well. Next up, shoes. Are they essential? Yeah, I would say. I got some new jump rope shoes here. My favorite ones are basketball. Make sure to check out our video where I talk about what my favorite shoes are for jumping rope. But yeah, I would say shoes are essential. You can absolutely jump rope barefoot. I actually do it sometimes in my socks when I'm waking up in the morning. I wouldn't recommend it though. I'm not going to sit here and say
It's the same as jumping with shoes.
I think by having supportive shoes on, you're going to reduce your risk of injury. You're going to be able to jump higher and for longer periods of time. So I would definitely put a good pair of shoes on that list of essential gear. Again, my favorite is basketball shoes. I also think running and cross training shoes are fine. Next up, ropeless jump ropes. Are they necessary? I don't think these are necessary, no. I think that ropeless jump ropes are a great alternative if you're not able to jump rope yet or you just don't have room to jump rope. I talk about why ropeless jump ropes are a good idea in a different video that's linked up here, so be sure to check that out. But ropeless can be really good. I just don't think it's an essential piece of gear with your, what gear is essential. I don't think they're essential. All right, Velcro wraps. Now, luckily these come with the Crossropes, but you can also just go to a, like TJ Maxx or something and get Velcro like this. But I would highly recommend this. Like you could spend like 50 cents on this, and I would recommend this because when you wrap your ropes up, you can put this around your ropes and it just makes transporting them much easier. Most of the time I'm in my truck and I'm moving around a lot, and it sucks when your ropes are just all tangled everywhere. So I wrap them in these, and like I said, it makes just throwing it in your bag and moving it around much easier. So essential? Yes. Next up, gloves. So this is an interesting one. I wouldn't say these are essential. I've jumped rope for 7 years without them. Until recently, I was using the 1 pound jump rope, and whenever I use the 1 pound or the 2 pound and I'm spinning it really fast with those rubber handles, you can't really see it here, but yeah, I basically ripped a hole in my thumb and it was a blister that was super annoying, and it happens every time I go really intense with the 1 or the 2 pound, usually doing double unders. And so the only thing I would say about having gloves is I don't think they're essential, but if you're doing what I'm doing, like 1 pound, that's the only reason I bought these. I was actually at Walmart because I was doing a review of a Walmart jump rope, and I was like, oh, I should use these gloves so that I don't tear a hole in my hand. So I don't think they're essential for like everyday jumping rope. If you're doing heavy rope workouts intensely, I would look at getting a pair of cutoff gloves. As for a bag, I would say a bag is an essential piece of gear. This is my you don't need a bag like this. This is way too expensive and like nice. I mean, dude, you could just get like a little duffel bag for like $5 or $10 on the internet and that would be fine. I just use my camera bag as my bag because obviously I'm like shooting and I need to transport all my camera gear, but I also use it to transport all my jump rope. And yeah, I would say a bag's essential because it just makes, you know, everything a lot easier. You can put all your stuff in there. Water bottle, I would say essential. You got to stay hydrated when you're working out. So some form of bottle to drink a hydration fluid out of, I think is essential, yes. Next up on my list, and by the way, guys, I hope you find this list interesting. I just tried to think of anything and everything that you could possibly use to jump rope with. Sunglasses. These are definitely not essential, but because I make videos, usually the sun is like facing me. So I've had a really tough time making videos when I forget my sunglasses. So if you're outside jumping, yes, it can be good to have a pair of sunglasses. These by no means are essential. I've gone many years without having sunglasses to jump rope in, but they can be good. Now the next one's interesting. Sunscreen. I would recommend getting some type of sunscreen if you're going to be spending a lot of time outside working out. It's kind of self-explanatory, but like you just don't want to get burnt and red like I do every day when I'm in the ocean. Just burning my skin off. All right, next up, a towel. Yeah, I don't think a towel is essential gear. You don't have to have one, but it's nice to have if you're, you know, just sweating profusely like I normally do. It's good to have something just to clean yourself off with, or, you know, if you're gonna go hug your girlfriend after your workout, you know, maybe dab your face off so she'll give you a kiss, you know, but not essential. Next up, foam roller. This would fall under the category of like, I don't think it's essential, but I use a foam roller pretty much every day because jumping rope like up and down, it causes the same kind of muscle tightness in your hips that running does, because you're always like kind of, even if you're using correct form and you're not slamming down on the ground, your hips and your quads and your thighs are going to get tight. So this is something that I would highly recommend having as a piece of gear. I wouldn't say, you know, you're not going to be able to jump rope if you don't have a foam roller, but if you're someone who's super active, get yourself a foam roller. Which brings me to my last piece of gear, which is a lacrosse ball. Again, not essential, but I use this to dig into because jumping rope, especially with heavy ropes, works your upper back a lot and it can get pretty sore. So using a lacrosse ball has helped me out greatly to just loosen up my muscles, get out those knots. So yeah, that's my list of what gear I think you need or is worth your money when it comes to jumping rope. I know that some of you guys see this and you're like, yeah, I mean, you're selling Crossropes, which we totally are, and they're linked up in the description. But a lot of this other gear that I talked about is not Crossrope specific. You can go on Amazon and find it for super cheap, and I would recommend taking into consideration some of the stuff I talked about, especially like things like the mat, a good pair of shoes, a water bottle, things like that. Even the Velcro I'd recommend. But I guess the point is, like, you know, that's in terms of doing a jump rope workout successfully, and if you're someone who jumps a lot of rope, I think this was a pretty comprehensive video about the gear that you should look into. So yeah, comment below, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I missed anything or if I shouldn't have something on this list. But as always, just trying to help you guys jump rope better and improve your health with it. So if you got any questions, let's talk about it in the comments.